Barbie Benton, a beautiful personality from the 1970s, enthralled audiences inside and outside the entertainment industry. However, she encountered something much darker underneath the Playboy mansion's glitter and glamour. Barbie, the ex-girlfriend of the notorious Bill Cosby, has talked about the disturbing things that happened while she was living at the home. She shares behind-the-scenes information that many have only conjectured about in a rarely heard voice. How did Barbie react to Cosby's actions? Come with us as we explore this startling revelation from her background and unearth the hidden truth. A triple threat. Not surprisingly, Barbie Benton was a standout from the start. Her dreams of becoming an actor and musician demonstrated that she deserved to be on television, even though modeling gave her some opportunities. She was a 4-season regular on Hee Haw because of her talent at comedy. She later appeared on various country music programs, including Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders and Nashville. Where did it all start then? Coast to coast. The budding star, Barbara Lynn Klein, was born on January 28, 1950, and came from a family of performers. Instead, her mother worked as a financial advisor in New York City, and her father was a doctor. When Barbara was 2 years old, they moved out of the massive metropolis to the sunshine. Neither Barbara's father nor mother had any desire to be like them. She started at UCLA to pursue a career in veterinary medicine. Sadly, she found that she couldn't handle the blood there. Therefore, it was time to choose a different line of work. She enjoyed various pastimes in high school, from playing the piano to participating in water sports, but her career path was part-time modeling. Co-host duties. When Benton started modeling, she was soon noticed by a man who had the potential to impact her career significantly. She was initially cast as an extra on the Playboy After Dark television, but Hugh Hefner became a co-host after being captivated and impressed by the young Barbara. Hefner moved after just 2 episodes of the show, which ran for just 1 year from 1969 to 1970. Ike and Tina Turner, Sammy Davis Jr., The Grateful Dead, Jerry Lewis, Harry Nilsson, Deep Purple, Fleetwood Mac, and others were among the well-known people Benton had the opportunity to meet while on the show. In reality, the show was a gathering where people were interviewed. Sugar Daddy? After seeing Benton, Hugh Hefner knew precisely what he wanted. Barbara wasn't sure when he asked her out, but she accepted despite what others might think about their 24-year age difference. Barbara was unaware that this would be a pivotal point in her life. Her name would be the first thing Hefner changed for her. He added that it would be better for her career if she changed her name to Barbie Benton. The two rapidly became close. Her talent unfolds. Benton was getting a lot of modeling gigs, but she had gained popularity on TV and was allowed to showcase herself when she was asked to go on Hee Haw, a variety show. Country music was incorporated alongside various performers in the show, situated in the imaginary town of Cornfield County. Benton had the opportunity to do comedic sketches and demonstrate her singing prowess. She also invited Hugh Hefner, her boyfriend, as a special guest. The leap to movies. Benton gained increasing recognition because of her excellent comedic timing. Better offers started coming in, and she eventually landed her first movie job. Benton was cast in 1970 as Len Keefe, a lady looking for the ideal husband. The Naughty Cheerleader was a West German comedy film based on the same titled book. A career as a realtor? Benton's mother has some real estate knowledge. She was the one who persuaded Hef to purchase the Playboy Mansion, which is a little-known truth. He was convinced to attend a screening after she persuaded him to do so. He had discovered his ideal house. When buying the property, Benton only asked that she bring the house. Hef quickly consented when she asked if she could live with him. Benton ended up in a stunning new home in Los Angeles valued at over $1 million. Model on the cover. As a well-known model in the 1970s, Benton secured her third Playboy cover in 1972. She also had some multi-page naked spreads that magazine readers loved. Why she never won Playmate of the Month has been questioned by some, although it might have been because she was seeing the magazine's owner. Would it have been interpreted as partiality? Would Hef have given a damn? Moving up the ranks. Benton, Tony Curtis, and Kim Novak had minor roles in the 1973 film The Third Girl from the Left. Even though it was a television film, Benton was eager to become a versatile player. Although Hugh Hefner served as executive producer on the reel, it is believed that Peter Medak, the director, preferred Benton's performance. Although the movie got decent reviews, Benton didn't get her moment to shine. Bringing experience to the role. Benton got the chance to use her model experience as research when she was chosen to compete as Miss Iowa in the Great American Beauty Contest, competing against names like Eleanor Parker and a budding Farrah Fawcett. The film's premise centers on a feminist who enters a beauty pageant to voice her opinions about women's exploitation. Although viewers responded well to the picture, some critics questioned if the glamorization of the subject matter truly conveyed the film's message. First album. When Benton's debut album, Barbie Doll, was released in 1974, some people's skepticism about her singing abilities was dispelled. The CD featured Benton's vocals on several country music covers, including That Country Boy of Mine and Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep with You. Although it wasn't a huge hit, it did signal a change in Benton's career direction and demonstrated to the world that she had a lovely voice. Originals. Benton released her self-titled album in 1975. Songs like He Looks Just Like His Daddy and Brass Knuckles were among them. The album shot to a respectable top 5 position on the Billboard Country Music Singles list. At last, she achieved success. Benton began creating her music and playing piano on her tunes to the joy of her fans. As a result of this, her third album, Something New, was released. Parting Ways. The relationship between Barbie Benton and Hugh Hefner ended in 1976. Many people had concluded that Benton had tamed the wilder, older man because they had spent so many wonderful moments together. However, the problems that were driving them apart were too much for the couple to overlook any longer. Getting married and having kids was high on Benton's list of priorities, even though she was still young and had her entire life ahead of her. It took Hefner many more years before he married again because he couldn't envision getting married this way. Hugh Hefner later stated that he felt terrible about the choice because he significantly regarded Benton and found it sad that she was leaving. Dependable. Benton was frequently asked to appear on several shows during her lengthy acting career. Benton played several guest roles in the wildly successful 1977 to 1986 film The Love Boat, including that of a nudist sunbather and the friend of a guest on board. Fans frequently saw Benton's attractive figure in a swimming suit because the romantic comedy series was set on a cruise ship. Benton also appeared often on the television program Fantasy Island. In this show, a man who resided on an island offered tourists their fantasies in exchange for enormous sums of money. Benton portrayed roles like Bunny Kelly and Dee Dee Verona. Finally, the spotlight. Although Benton was happy to earn these roles, she aspired to have a role and read at numerous auditions. Then the television program Sugar Time arrived, answering the 27-year-old actress's prayers. ABC produced it. Benton was cast as Max Douglas, the lead in an all-girl rock group vying for fame. The program debuted in 1977 and ran for 2 seasons before being discontinued by the network. The show's IMDb rating of 6.1 out of 10 is quite acceptable. Finding the One. Benton didn't know who George Gradow, a California real estate mogul, was, but he developed a crush on her after seeing her on TV. When a friend inquired about George's future marriage, he said he would marry someone like Barbie Benton. This was a fortunate moment for George. Benton's mother was acquainted with George's friend's mother, who contacted her to arrange the meeting. She began dating Gradow after meeting with him when Benton interviewed him to be her manager. They fell in love right away, and they soon became engaged. Lucky in love. The couple appears to have one of Hollywood's most successful marriages since their 1979 union has never been the subject of divorce rumors. Benton claims that George Gradow is the luckiest man alive and continues to love him. Nonetheless, Benton agrees that maintaining a marriage requires effort and cooperation to keep the spark. According to her, practicality is more important than feelings in certain situations. Career misses. During her 1980 interview, Benton revealed that she had lost out on several job prospects. She disclosed that one agent advised her that she was too well known to try out for the movie The Dukes of Hazzard. She says she listened to several people who most likely didn't have her best interests at heart and made some bad choices. Since she appeared traveling through the center, she questioned whether she would ever achieve the lofty heights she had always dreamed of. But the best was yet to come, even if she was unaware of it then. Film success. Benton played the lead in Hospital Massacre, a horror film directed by Boaz Davidson. The narrative centers on Susan Jeremy, who visits the hospital with her new boyfriend to get some test results. Many people are killed in a chain of events that unfold at the hospital while she is unaware that she is being stalked by a guy whose approaches she rejected 19 years ago. Susan escapes with her life intact. Most critics praised the movie for being entertaining but lacking in depth. Although Benton received positive reviews for portraying Susan, the material wouldn't earn her any Oscars. Another genre. Benton risked another leading part in Deathstalker in 1983 as Princess Camille. She was eager to demonstrate her skills in many different genres. It was the first of many adventure fantasy series at the time, and the movie made more than $11 million at the box office. Unfortunately for Benton, she could not star in any of the sequels because her character was killed in the first film. A Call from an Old Flame. George Gradell never seemed to mind Benton's continued interaction with Hugh Hefner, which suggests that he is either highly confident in himself or his marriage. There's no jealousy here. In any case, Hefner was eager to cast Benton in Playboy again because he still recognized her popularity. Barbie Benton was featured on the magazine's cover once more in 1985. It was her final magazine cover, and she was 35 years old. A new role as mom. Barbie and George welcomed their first child, Alexander Benton Gradell, into the world on August 23, 1986. Ariana, Alexander's younger sister, was born in 1988. These two played in the pool and were often welcomed to the Playboy mansion. Hefner lavished them with gifts as well. When Ariana Gradell starred in Cribs in 2011, she became an MTV celebrity. She showed the world the residence of the Gradell family. An eye for an eye. After having children, Benton decided to vacation from the demanding world of show business. In 2002, she decided to return to work, but not in front of the spotlight. Benton became an interior designer, showcasing yet another aptitude. She collaborated with architect Bart Prince to design the stunning interior of her own Aspen residence, dubbed the Magic Mushroom Mansion. She also enjoyed collaborating with her husband, George, who works in real estate. Made for each other. George has fulfilled Benton's every want, and as he puts it, marrying her was a dream come true. So it's a little wonder they've been together for so long. They have frequently been thought to lead ideal lives. They have purchased numerous properties, each appearing more opulent than the last. They own a 7-bedroom property in Los Angeles and their eclectically furnished home in Colorado, including a nightclub with an amethyst motif. On the surface, everything seems to be going well. But the couple had some difficulties in 2011 that might have ended their marriage. Legal troubles. In 2006, George Gradell was convicted of willfully concealing his income from the IRS. While some wives would have run for cover, Benton stuck by her husband despite his 15-month prison sentence. In addition, he owed around $130,000. These financial demands may have led Barbie and George to place their LA house for sale. It was first listed for $17 million, but that amount was eventually lowered to a more manageable $11,950,000. After George's legal troubles are resolved, the two appear to be stronger than before. Inside the Playboy Mansion. People's imaginations ran wild, and they were always curious about what happened behind the scenes at the Playboy Mansion where Benton had lived. Perhaps conscious of her friendship with Hugh Hefner, Benton was reluctant to reveal anything until 2014. She admitted, among other things, that Bill Cosby had visited often in the 1960s and 1970s, mainly while his wife was pregnant. She would not disclose the girl's identity that Cosby was interested in. She also mentioned a few more incidents in the house that the public found unsettling. Who is lying? Benton claimed that when she and Hefner selected the house together, there was never any intention of it being a scene of wild revelry, although she would later characterize it as a candy store for men. Hugh did enjoy a good party, but on these specific evenings, the couple organized lavish movie nights and invited famous people to the mansion for dinners. It was not an improper mood, but a joyous one. But in 2014, Benton came clean about Bill Cosby's inappropriate behavior with the house's attractive girls. She further mentioned that Cosby would visit the infamous home about twice a week to see his sweetheart. Hefner had consistently supported his friend and declared that he would never have let such conduct occur within his own home. One of the closest pals was Cosby. But why, decades later, would Benton have an axe to grind? She was just, apparently, speaking the truth. Losing a mentor. Even after their split, Benton and Hefner maintained a cordial relationship. Less than 6 months before his passing, she paid him a visit at the house they had jointly selected. Of course, she was distraught when he passed away in 2017 from sepsis. Benton has been contemptuous of efforts to transform the cherished Playboy mansion into a museum dedicated to the late owner. She believes that Hefner would be horrified by the concept and that neighbors would not permit it. Different choices? Barbie Benton can't have many regrets, even though she may not be as well known as other celebrities who came out of the golden age of the 1960s and 1970s. Despite her many talents, she claims she didn't fully comprehend how to capture that limelight at the time due to her foolish decisions. She has nevertheless led a life that many others can only imagine. Country music fans most likely own a copy of one of her albums, and she still has certain films and TV series in her collection that many people recall with nostalgia. Living the simple life. Barbie Benton is no longer bothered by her lack of fame. Although she occasionally receives attention when she is out and about in Los Angeles, she is far happier living her life with her spouse and kids. Although she seems pleased to be interviewed about her little stint in the spotlight, she also appears delighted to have moved on from that life. She has undoubtedly left her imprint on show business history as one of the original occupants of the Playboy mansion and the one who escaped Hugh Hefner. She no longer leads a life similar to the one she had with Hef. George and Barbie divide their time between their Aspen and Los Angeles residences, avoiding the spotlight. Hefner's mansion facts and secrets. Hugh Hefner invested just over $1 million in 1971, realizing the aspirations of innumerable young men worldwide. Read these fascinating facts about the mansion, which include booby traps, secret tunnels, and confessions from Kendra Wilkinson and Holly Madison. Their daily uniform was exactly as you'd expect. As we've already discussed, the girls had to wear pink pajamas at night, which they quickly took off as soon as they entered Hugh Hefner's bed. Their daytime costume, however, was just as peculiar and rigorously enforced. The females had to adhere to a stringent makeup regimen. To prevent them from seeming washed out, this included wearing wigs and bright lipstick colors. The females would put Kleenex in their tight uniforms for extra cleavage in an attempt to avoid being fired for looking pale. A never-ending list of amenities. The typical individual will likely rattle off a list of things they know about the Playboy mansion, including the expansive grounds, the bunnies, and the notorious grotto. However, the hotspot is far more complex than it first appears. There are tennis courts, a game room, a wine cellar, and a screening room with an integrated pipe organ among the mansion's 29 rooms. Nevertheless, the list continues with 3 exotic zoos and an enchanted aviary. Defending Hef. Playboy responded to the accusations after the Secrets of Playboy series was released, saying, "Today's Playboy is not Hugh Hefner's Playboy. As a brand with sex positivity at its core, we believe safety, security, and accountability are paramount." However, other people who were connected to Playboy in one way or another, such as his ex-wife Kimberly Hefner and more than 270 former Playboy bunnies, signed a letter of support for the late Hefner saying, "From all we know of Hef, he was a person of upstanding character. We all are fond of our time with Hugh Hefner's Playboy and the organization's subsidiaries." The various responsibilities of the house bunnies. The Playmates' responsibilities went far beyond just looking gorgeous and donning latex. Additionally, they were in charge of several service positions, such as door bunny, camera bunny, and cocktail bunny. There were even cigarette bunnies, hat check bunnies, and gift shop bunnies who were committed to selling Playboy merchandise and making extra money. The girls may have relished the luxury of living at the mansion, but it came at the expense of rigorous rules and hard work. The claws came out. To compete for Hugh Hefner's attention, several attractive ladies who lived at the mansion underwent frequent surgeries and cosmetic procedures. Hugh Hefner gained a reputation as a manipulator who set the girls against each other, which only stoked the flames. Hef liked to play the main girlfriend off of the youngest one to try to create competition, revealed Holly Madison. The mentality of loving being the center of attention was discreetly transmitted throughout the house, resulting in backstabbing bunnies constantly vying for Hugh's adoration. A scandalous romance that started within the mansion. Numerous famous people have been asked to stay in the Playboy mansion. Leonardo DiCaprio and Rihanna were two of these celebrities. After meeting at the Playboy mansion, the two are rumored to have had a lengthy romance. The mansion hosted a celebration for designer Nikki Irwin in 2015. After being spotted kissing while having a great time at a party, Rihanna and Leo became one of the most talked-about couples in Hollywood. It's still debatable whether or not they dated. Not so friendly. Holly Madison isn't afraid to speak the truth about the mansion. In a recent interview, she called the Playboy home cult-like and made some pretty alarming statements. Madison described how she and the other women were all kind of gaslit and expected to think of Hef as this good guy. Madison describes the isolation the residents were subjected to after being inundated with positive information, claiming that there was a 9 o'clock curfew and you were encouraged not to have friends over. You weren't allowed to leave unless it was a family holiday. Sounds suspicious, doesn't it? In one instance, Madison said, "I felt like I was in the cycle of gross things and I didn't know what to do." She hasn't been afraid to voice her feelings. The bunny mother had an important role. The daddy of the household was Hugh Hefner. However, a matriarch was also in place to ensure the girls remained in line and adhered to the established regulations. According to the rule book, bunnies must allow enough time before going to their assigned rooms to report to the bunny mother for appearance inspection. The role of the bunny mother was assigned and has been compared to that of a college counselor. The bunny mother was responsible for hiring, terminating, and teaching the blonde beauties and ensuring that the females maintained a standard of beauty. Night activities were contrary to what you'd think. Despite the Playboy Mansion's well-known reputation as a haven for sex, nobody is sure of what occurs there after dark. Although many people have fantasized about having sex with the adorable rabbits, there were very tight regulations, and it wasn't as glamorous as most people would imagine. I was usually very drunk during those evenings. It was like a job, Kendra Wilkinson revealed. There was no intimacy involved, Holly Madison continued. Clock in, clock out. Nothing, no kissing. I can't even remember how it felt because it was so short. The Playboy Mansion was also a zoo. The Playboy Mansion's overlapping of a petting zoo and the party atmosphere was possibly one of its most unusual features. The 5.2-acre property was home to actual animals, in addition to tycoon Hugh Hefner and his army of human bunnies. When you visit the site, you will see real-life bunnies, exotic snakes, various birds, and pink flamingos up close. Hugh Hefner had to obtain his zoo permit due to the variety of species on the property. But years later, Crystal Hefner exposed the awful reality. In her book, she complained about how animals were treated while staying at the Playboy Mansion. The birds in the mansion, she claimed, were neglected and dehydrated, thus dying. She also revealed that the home included a zoo thanks to a zoo license belonging to Hugh Hefner, but she bemoaned that the animals, like some of the ladies who lived there, were frequently neglected and not given the required care. A strictly sexy uniform for after hours. The famous bunny costume worn by the playmates in the house is recognizable to most of us. However, they change into different costumes once the masses have dispersed. The girls must wear sultry pink jammies as soon as the sun sets. Jill Spaulding, a former playmate, reveals that she had to put on a certain pair of pink pajamas. They were all neatly lined up. They had been to the cleaners, as you can tell. Even though you would take them off as soon as you walked into Hef's room, they insisted that you wear them. the truth revealed in a controversial spin-off. As you can see, life inside the mansion was unlike what you might have thought. Hugh Hefner enjoyed portraying the lifestyle as a fairy tale, but everything would become apparent after a spin-off program called The Girls Next Door debuted. Former playmates Kendra, Holly, and Bridget were the show's principal cast members. They acknowledged that they were shaped into characters according to their best qualities and then made to remain that way. However, they received little or no payment for their labor. According to Kendra, "You are replaceable." Hugh Hefner is the focus of this show, not the girls.
If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon